After 15 years in the corporate world in logistics and software consulting, our guest today changed her life's direction in her early 40s. So, for the last 20 years, she's helped hundreds of people through meaningful life transitions, such as the death of a loved one, opening to spirit, and finding courage to make a change for the better. We talk about her book as we introduce Cindy to the journey.
Hello, thank you for having me, David.
You're welcome. Now, obviously, we spoke about things before we started recording, but we get to those bits in a minute. But what was your earliest memories that started your journey?
Oh, my earliest memories were when I was 16, believe it or not. I got fired from a job, and my mother had gotten me the job, and she was a bit embarrassed by me getting fired. It was some people at church that, got me the job, and she grounded me for the summer of my 16th year. So as a result, I'd spent pretty much the whole summer in my bedroom. I had a little part-time job, a different one, that I went to 2 afternoons a week, and that was it. It's all I was allowed to do. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere or do anything. So I spent a lot of time in um, my bedroom. And in my bedroom, I had an oval picture of Jesus. It was on wood, and the had still the tree bark on the edges. And what I didn't know at the time was I was spending a lot of time with the angels and Jesus, and they were talking to me and teaching me and things like that. Eventually, I got ungrounded and went on my way. And it wasn't until my early 40s that I saw a psychic in Santa Fe, and she helped me open up to spirit a little bit more because at 16 I didn't really know, and from there it's been crystals and lots of health issues, and I started reading The Disappearance of the Universe. And as I started reading that, I started into A Course in Miracles. I said, oh, I had to do it. So I read Disappearance of the Universe, Course in Miracles, and I did the workbook and A Course in Miracles all at the same time. I don't recommend you do that. Your ego is going to get challenged. Boy, my ego got challenged. All these things you thought you knew. Oh my God. And at the same time that was happening, inspirational sayings were coming to me. They would just keep kind of pouring in, and I would be in a restaurant, like, I need a piece of paper. I'd write it down on a napkin, and middle of the night I'd wake up with it, and I thought, I'll remember. Didn't remember. I had to have a piece of paper on my nightstand, and um, so it was a very busy 2 years as I did the readings and the inspirational sayings and some other things. And I went on my way doing crystal healing and such, and not tried other modalities. And about a year and a half ago, I decided, or 2 years ago, I decided, maybe these sayings would be helpful for people. So I wrote a book.
And obviously, this is how we are now. You wrote your book. Now, was it about your discovering within what you learnt, or was it just things you learnt yourself with the book helping you?
No, it's a book about love versus fear. It's about understanding and recognizing the difference because fear is so pervasive in our lives and we aren't even aware of it. And it presents things in a much different way. It gently opens you up so that you can allow more love and light out of yourself. And as a result, what happens is you become happier and you gain the courage to make changes.
Yeah, and I understand that totally because I'm not young, but I'm not old, but I do understand there's a lot of fear when I came across love over the years, and it's about accepting those new challenges because when you do have love, and you face fear because it's the unknown.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I can give you an example that's probably shocking and a bit extreme. If you think you're an individual, you're in fear because an individual wants this, or they want that, they want recognition, they need acknowledgement, they need to control things. But once you let go of all of the individual pieces and realize you're just a part of the whole, and all we're all trying to do is like that jigsaw puzzle, come back together to the whole, life gets a whole lot easier and a lot more
Yeah,
fun.
I understand. So you were saying about the your example where you was just talking about, about people wanting those labels. Do you feel people want those labels intentionally because they want to be looked upon as a stronger figurehead or a person to say, "Oh, look at me"?
Absolutely. Yeah, people like labels because it helps to identify themselves and it gives them an adrenaline boost, believe it or not. It
Mm.
makes them feel special. It makes them realize they're important. What they don't realize is we are all important. We all have something important to do here. And whether you help one person, you help yourself, or you help a whole group of people, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is you do it all through kindness and compassion. And that's
Yeah.
hard to do all the time.
Yeah, because you get behaviors, and I touch upon this in a little sensitive way because obviously it may trigger people. So be aware of this. It may trigger the bad side in people, like narcissistic behavior, and that's not the right way to say, "Look at me, I am this," or "Look at me, I am strong, I am proud," because you don't want to be recognized for that kind of identity.
No, you don't. And I like to say that's the difference between your ego self and your soul self. Your ego self is the one that needs all of the attention, feeling like a hero. I can come up with a lot of different words. But your soul self is confident, comfortable in who you are, and you're kind, loving, and you have integrity. There's a difference, big difference between the two.
Yeah, and it's about understanding that difference because that's where the lines do get blurred because and this is me understanding it in a very clear way. Narcissistic people like to blur the lines to make it look like it's real, where it's the soul, but it's not. It's the alternate side to them that blurs it so completely, and you end up so blindsided.
Yeah, because they're very good at putting back on you their issues. And a lot of us are givers. And because we're givers instead of the takers, we accept what other people are saying. And that's where it takes a lot of courage to be able to say, no, I really don't agree with that. I'm not going to take that on. That's their issue, but I wish them well.
Yeah, and that is the best way to approach it, I believe.
Yeah, it's
So
hard.
it is, and going back to your book now, you was talking about how many years did this take to prepare? Was it just a short space of time? Did you take your time by researching before collating it together to make your book?
No, the way it worked was, like 19 years ago, all the inspirational sayings came to me. One night I woke up and said, I got to write a book. This might be helpful for people. I sat down, and about 3 months later, I had the book done. I didn't need to do any research, but I had been a student of A Course in Miracles and read Disappearance of the Universe multiple times, done the workbook twice for a few years, a number
Mm.
of years. So
And
that's kind of where it came from.
and obviously you told me as well before we started recording, you were ill, ill on top of things, so that must have been an hindrance as well. Or did it give you the strength to carry on to say, I can do this more and believe in yourself more?
Well, it helped me to believe in myself more because I have stage 4 cancer, which I've had now for 25 years. I still have it, probably will always have it. I've also had ovarian cancer. Um, I've also have an autoimmune disorder called morphia. Um, it's a skin tightening disorder to the point where I can't really bend my knees very well. I was heading for a wheelchair because I can't function all that well sometimes in the physical. But despite all these things, um, I choose not to allow it to overcome me.
Yeah, and that is a good approach to be because that makes you the stronger person to say, and it goes to a poem I read when I was younger. Yes, you can because you believe in yourself.
I do. It helped that, um, I've been on the journey of love versus fear for quite some time, and I knew that I'm the only one responsible for my health. Yes, I need help. I need help in the physical by going to the doctors and doing what they say until I can find a better way, of course. And I also need help from the guides. I need help from the spirit world to be able to help me as well. So it's a combination of different things. We all need help. No one can do anything by themselves at all, ever.
Yeah, it's like going back to the guide talk. I believe my guide is my late grandmother,
Oh,
she,
sure.
and she died in 2012. Now, in 2012, I was not young, obviously, but this is like 12 years ago. But I was at a point where I always knew my nan was there for me when she was alive. And when she passed on, I felt lost. The support that I had from her was gone. But I believe her support was helping me get stronger and it helped me progress to where I am now. So moving from England to America, yes, I made wrong choices along the way, but I was still able to, make that fresh start. And where I am now, I am happy, I'm solid, I feel solidified because I know I still got a guiding me and helping me feel safe, reassured, as well as having support from people around me, like my partner, for example.
Absolutely.
She's helped me a lot as well because she's helped me realize that I'm a better person. She's believed in my capabilities. She's believed in my abilities, like my nan did. So I feel that level place now where I can say I feel better in myself.
It's wonderful.
It is. And so even though I don't talk of my late grandmother now, I still know she's there. I still feel her presence. I still build and talk to me in a guide way to say when I'm feeling down. She's that extra push. Yes, it may be my girlfriend too, but at the same time, from the spirits above and guides, I believe she's still meant to be there, looking after me and my family.
Absolutely. That's very good.
So going into the future. Obviously, things health-wise will be the way they are. We're not going to say it's going to be negative. We're going to be saying strong and positive. But where do you see the future for yourself?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I just finished a second book. Well, actually, it's my third book, but the second book in the series, which actually goes much deeper into fear and presents things in a very different way, which is again to help open you up. I do crystal healings, but I'm really only word by mouth. Excuse me. Sounds like I was saying a bird there. Word of mouth. And what the crystal healing sessions are about is it's about balancing and clearing out and then raising your vibration because we want everybody's vibration to get as high as they can possibly get so that they can allow more light and love out and do whatever it is they need to do to help the planet, the people, whatever, themselves.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm heading towards.
Now, if people want to get into contact with you, is there a way they can get in contact with you?
They can reach me at my website, which is Cindi, Cindi, Buckley, BUCKLEY.com. And on the website's a free guided meditation as well as monthly blogs that I write. And in Love Awakens You, there are inspirational sayings, and I actually take some of those inspirational sayings and explain them out so that you can apply them to your everyday life, which is helpful for a lot of people. Um, and so the future, other than that, is kind of like, okay, let's create it, but I don't know what yet. I feel like something's happening, but I'm not sure.
Mm. Now, to conclude this interview, there is inspiration that you can give to people, and there's countless inspirations that like people like to hear affirmations, little speeches to get them positive and really motivated for themselves.
I have
What would you say to them now?
I have two things to say. First, trust your intuition, but make sure you're trusting your intuition from your loving guides. Obviously, if someone says to you, if you hear, I should go punch that person, that's not a loving thing to think. Or if I'm going to go say something mean to somebody, that's not loving. Make sure you trust your intuition, your loving guides, and try to respond as best you can with kindness and compassion. The second thing that I can say is it's a saying that's very simple to say. It's quite effective. You can say it when you're down because it'll help lift you up, but also try to remember to say it when you're feeling really good because it'll help raise you up even more. And that saying is, I am always safe and protected. It's very simple. I am always safe and protected. Does work. By the way, I still use it periodically. I don't recommend anything that I know doesn't work, whether you believe it or not. I tried to get my brother to say it once, and because he suffers from anxiety, he says you have to believe it. I said no, you don't have to believe it. You just have to start saying it. That's all. Just start saying it on a regular basis.
And that is amazing, and I will keep saying that as well. And anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
Oh, I think that, everybody's doing the best that they can. We can all try a little bit more. Um, you could try reading the book Love Awakens You, the one I've written. It is designed to be read slowly and to open you up to love from fear, but don't expect miracles because we've been in fear for eons, and I do mean eons. And it's going to take, it can be fast or it can be slow. Depends on you how quickly you want to stop suffering and get out of fear and turn to love because life is so much easier when you're in love. It's more
Okay,
fun too.
I agree totally. Cindy, it's been a pleasure talking to you today on the journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.